Good morning. It's Wednesday, so here we are at World Peace Wednesday. And as always, we're going to give people a few minutes to hop on. I know here in California, it's 8 o'clock, and a lot of people are just waking up, maybe getting ready to go to work, getting kids off to school, and it's not necessarily a good time to be on here. Welcome, Marlene. Glad you joined. But here we are. These are all archived, and they're archived in two places on this Universal Sphere page. If you look at the left-hand column under videos, you can see these World Peace Wednesday videos as well as other ones. So if anyone's interested in receiving Universal Spheres, there are many different examples of videos up there in which you're actually receiving Universal Spheres, and you can get a taste of it and really be in that great place of receiving. Because the wonderful thing about the Universal Sphere, when they're being done, is you can be there in the moment, or you can be there later on, and whether you're in the real moment of it or later on, the benefits are all still there. Welcome to those of you who just popped in. I'm so glad you're here. And this is another one of our installments of World Peace Wednesdays. And the intention of this is to really generate a greater sense, a greater awareness, a greater appreciation, and really hope around peace. And peace is about what's happening inside ourselves, as well as what's happening, obviously, in the world around us. For most of us, we tend to look at the world around us, of course, right? Here we are, we're interacting with the world. And then especially with our interconnectivity at such a high level relative to what's going on our computer world, whether you're somebody who gets all your news from Facebook or Instagram, or whether you follow news feeds, the truth is we get to know what's going on the planet all the time, in a moment. I mean, when it's happening, even if there are things that are happening that we wouldn't necessarily choose to witness, we can see all of it happening. So there's definitely some, sort of, I would say, a blessing and a curse in a sense about our connectivity. It does allow us to send prayers, or in this case, do Universal Spheres for things happening all over the world, whether they're large or small. And also, back in the day where we didn't know what was happening on the other side of the world, we may not have felt impacted by it. But many of us, we care a lot. And we really don't want to see people suffering. We don't want to see inhumane things. And it really hurts us, and we feel it deeply when we see things that, in a sense, are not peaceful happening in the world. So the intention of World Peace Wednesdays is to really up-level peace in our lives, in what we witness, but really more than anything else, create ourself as this center point, as this pillar of peace. And so that we can magnetize peace in our life. And as we magnetize more peace in our life, we have an opportunity to literally emanate that out from us, so that no matter where we go and what we do, we carry with us that vibration of peace. And these vibrations are contagious. We don't often like to talk about that, but we know that the vibration that people hold, we feel. And whether or not you call yourself an empath or not, but we do. If you're in a situation where somebody's really upset and agitated, it's really hard to not feel upset and agitated. Part of it can be out of our empathy for them, right? That we wish they weren't feeling that way. And so we know that how we feel is contagious, if you will, to other people. So if we're really desiring a world where there's more peace, and that world could be just in your family, you'd like to have a more peaceful experience. It could be at your workplace, and it could be a global experience of peace. It really doesn't matter, because wherever we look for it and find it, it expands. And so that's why we can look for peace within ourselves. And even if we're not in a peaceful situation, part of working with the idea of World Peace Wednesdays is to actually be able to discover peace even in what we call like a non-peaceful moment, meaning can you connect with a peaceful vibration and stance for yourself even in the midst of something that doesn't feel peaceful at all? So one of the things that I'll be doing in a few moments is channeling Ishtara. And Ishtara is the non-physical guide who I've been channeling since 2011. And she brought through the universal sphere, which is something that we teach. And so I'll be sharing a message somehow related to peace. I'm not sure what she's going to talk about today, except on that subject of peace, one way or another. And then I'll be guiding everyone in a universal sphere. So if you know how to do the universal sphere, you can follow along. If you don't know how to do the universal sphere, I'm not going to be doing it in a way for you to learn how to do it right now, but just get yourself comfortable and relaxed and open to receive. A lot of people, when they receive the universal sphere, feel a sense of peace and trust and calmness that may not have been there a few moments before. A lot of people report a lot of feeling of warmth and excuse me, love in their heart. So it's a great place to spend a few minutes as you start your day or end your day, depending on where you are in your world or when you're listening to this message. So one of the things that I want to talk about before I channel Ishtara is the idea of our breath and how our breath can really create a pathway to a greater experience of peace. So if you've ever noticed yourself when you're agitated or upset, or you may have noticed it with somebody else is agitated or upset, what happens is our breath gets really fast. It gets intense. You know, somebody's really stressed and they're telling a big story and their breathing is fast and hard. And when we're breathing fast and hard, and you can try this out at some time on your own if you really want, start breathing fast and hard and notice what happens to your inherent energy. We tend to feel more stressed, more anxious, worry can come in. And part of it is when we're feeling those things, that's what's happening to our breath. And this is also why people classically say, and your mother may have said it when you were upset when you were little, is just breathe, honey. Well, it's great wisdom in that, because when we're wanting to bring in a greater sense of peace and balance in our life, become mindful of your breath and change it so it's long, slow, and deep. So that even if people are upset around you, and they may even be getting upset with you, if you have the presence of mind not to entrain with their upset, which is easy to do. Listen, people who are upset, this is a very compelling energy field, right? And it wakes up whether or not we're worthy or whether or not we've created something, our sense of responsibility, or our sense of anger and indignation for being accused or blamed about things that maybe weren't actually true. So it's easy for our emotions to rise with somebody else's rising emotions. But if you're in the face of somebody or in an experience where emotions are high, so the sense of peace doesn't exist there, slow down your breathing intentionally so that if somebody's upset with you, while you're listening to them and paying attention to them, you can just and your physiology changes with your breath. So, and watch what happens to the person who might be angry, upset, or agitated, whether it's at you or at a situation, as you slow down your breath and bring it to a place that's more peaceful and centered with long, slow, deep breathing. They can entrain to you instead of you entraining to them. And then there's this sense of peace that can prevail. This is a long time yogic teaching that you can actually look up, but it is really powerful to maintain your sense of inner calm, regardless of where the lack of peace is for you in the moment. So play with that. I'd love to hear what you feel as you do that. So, and you can even do that for yourself. If you're feeling stressed or emotional about something, which is a lack of peace in that moment, you could just be driving down the road and mulling something over, feeling anxious about something that might be happening coming up, or you're anticipating something and you're not in the place of peace that you would like. Change your breath. Change your breath and see what happens with that, and notice how you shift. And as you shift, your energy field opens up. This is what Ishtara talks about all the time, is our energy field opening up. And when our energy field is open, and it gives us a possibility to see new avenues, new points of view. It allows new information to come in. Where we're in a stress state, we tend to be locked down more, and we're in conclusions about, oh, this is terrible and this is the way it's going to be. Change your breath, you change your energy, and you can open up to more. So I wanted to share that this morning, and please share as you practice this what you've noticed as you start playing with your breath. Your breath is such a powerful mechanism that you always have available to you, and you can use it in any single circumstance. Your world does not need to be peaceful for you to invoke a peaceful breath. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a moment to tune in more deeply to Ishtara, and I'm going to share whatever message she wants to share around the topic of peace. This morning, she and I were having a little conversation as I was getting dressed, and she was really talking to me a lot about peace goes hand in hand with trust. But we'll see what she has to say, because sometimes she talks to me about things like that, and then she shares a completely different message when I'm actually channeling. My eyes will be closed when I channel, and the reason for this isn't to look mystical. The reason for this is that it really just helps me focus more clearly on the messages that she's sharing, because she often gives me a lot of visuals. So I'll just close my eyes and we'll get ready to begin. Greetings, great beings of light. My name is Ishtara. Welcome once again to this experience of discovering a greater sense of peace. For as you know from religious texts and scriptures, throughout the world, throughout time, there's a common thread, a common message throughout all of it, that you get to find what you look for. Now, when you think about that, you may go back to some religious training you had when you were younger, or that you're currently involved in now. And the truth is, these high-level religious doctrine have been telling humans for years, what you look for, you will find. So what is it that you desire to have a bigger experience of? And look for that in any given moment of your life. You do not need to have it already showing up in your world in order for you to feel it and experience it. So what's being said about this is relative to peace. And this could be applied to any quality that you'd like to bring more of into your life. Love, joy, happiness, success, vibrant health. What are you seeking? Because that is what you will find. And from an energetic point of view, it means out of all the choices in the universe, you have an infinite number of choices in the universe. What you seek is just whatever you wish to experience within this unified field. It's all there. So if you feel like I'd really love to see a more peaceful world. I'm tired of seeing people not treating each other well, world leaders making decisions that feel very unpeaceful to me. And when one is looking at that, one is finding it, correct? And you could say, well, I'm not seeking, it's just there in front of my face. And you could say, yes, that's true. And you can look at that and at the same time notice that there are non-peaceful things happening around you. And non-peaceful is said because non-peaceful can come in all kinds of forms, correct? It could come in as agitation. It could come in as abuse. It could come in as fear. It could come in a myriad of ways. So the term non-peaceful is used as for to be anything that is not invoking an energy of peace. So if you say, I really would like to see my world with a greater sense of peace in it, look for it. And you would say, well, how do I look for it? Literally, all you need to do to say to yourself is, in this moment, where is peace? Where is a sense of peace? Where can I discover it? In this moment I am. You have an opportunity to, even in an unpeaceful moment, discover a sense of peace. It could be by looking at a beautiful plant sitting on a table, and that gives you a sense of peace. If you seek peace, you will find it. You could say, I'm noticing this lack of peace in my world around me, but actually I do feel a peaceful moment when I'm sitting quietly by myself petting my dog. The key is your world can have unpeaceful, non-peaceful experiences around it, and you can ask for it to show up anyway. Peace, that is. Ask for peace to show up, because peace is a vibration. Peace is something that you could, in a sense, invoke. I'd like to discover a greater sense of peace in the moment where I am. I'd love to embody peace as I move throughout my day. Where can I find peace sitting at my desk at work today, finishing the work I have? Where can I find peace in my family situation? And literally, you don't have to have an answer to that question when you ask it. That's what's really fun about it, is you could, in today's world, the idea is if a question is asked, the answer must come in order for you to feel resolved. And this is about early training in your childhood, and it's about the early training throughout the educational system. And all of that's fine, that there's this knee-jerk reaction that if I ask a question, I must have an answer right now. But if what you're wanting to do is expand the presence of peace, without it needing to be tangibly attached to any one particular thing, you have the opportunity to just ask for a greater awareness of peace. Just keep asking. Just keep asking. And there's another very famous quote, ask and ye shall find. So if you're asking for peace, you will find it. Now, are you going to find it right there in that moment? Maybe, maybe not. But if you keep asking, you will start discovering more of it. And as you start discovering more of it, you will notice yourself being able to connect with it at a whim. You can connect with it at any given moment that you wish. As you become more familiar, and the vibration of peace is just stronger in your field as you ask for it. So ask for an awareness of peace. Please don't expect an immediate answer, but just keep asking and play with the idea of asking literally for what you wish to have a bigger experience of in your life. So the focus today is peace. But this could apply to self-love, self-care, vibrant health. Just keep asking. And even if you're not aware in the moment that there's a response, please don't look for the response as your justification. Just keep asking. As you ask, you are tapping into this unified field where all the solutions are abound, and that you will be vibrationally entraining to what you're asking for. So now let's do a universal sphere. The universal sphere is an incredible vibrational energy infusion experience that literally brings you into vibrational resonance with the unified field. And within the unified field, all exists. Now, in 3D, your experience may be that there are things that you would like to experience that you're not. Maybe happiness, maybe joy, maybe a sense of passion and purpose. And in 3D, because it's a dimension of duality, of polarity, there are times when your experience does feel like it's lacking or missing something. And yet, as you entrain to the unified field, what you're doing is opening up your energy field to all the possibilities. And that's what's happening during this time. So if you're following along and you're in a safe place, close your eyes, relax, open yourself up to receive. Receive an entrainment with a unified field. Receive an entrainment to your multidimensional presence. For within this experience, all that you desire is within reach. Slowing your breath down, making it conscious and intentional. And if you know how to do the universal sphere, while this isn't intentionally a guided experience, you can begin following along, creating the beautiful sphere. As we begin to create the sphere, expand our conscious and intentional connection to the unified field, our energy field expands. We're taken beyond the energetic awareness of just 3D into a larger space. And as this universal sphere is done for all who listen now or who will listen in the future, the unified field, this field of infinite possibilities, moves through your entire physical body, immersing you all the way down to the tiniest particles of your physical body. But it moves through all of your tissues, all of your fluids, moves out beyond your energy, out beyond the edges of your physical body, throughout your entire energy field, through your mind, your emotions. Keep allowing your breathing to be very full and complete with an energy of openness and receiving. And within this field of infinite possibilities, peace is there. The profound, eternal peace. that is not shattered by any experience anywhere. It's available to you now in this moment. And it's available to you in all the moments of your life as you open, ask, and trust in the receiving. What's beautiful about this type of immersion into peace is it's available to you regardless of what outer circumstances appear to be. It is possible for you to embody peace. Even in situations around you that are not feeling peaceful. And as you begin to choose peace and ask for peace, you will discover it. And as you discover it, you reinforce the fact that it is there as a vibrational choice. And as you discover it as a vibrational choice, you know that it's possible to discover again. Even in moments where you yourself lose track of peace, you can always find it again. When you know that it's available to you, you can make a new choice to find it. This is not about becoming a perfect embodiment of peace in every single moment. This is about knowing that it's available to you and discovering it and feeling it and allowing it to inform your life when you really require it. And all these high-level qualities are the same way. You can bring in love and joy, a sense of success and accomplishment, a sense of purpose. All that you desire is available within the unified field. So begin asking the open-ended questions of yourself. Ask where you can discover and find what it is that your heart desires. And take this moment for yourself to anchor in a greater experience of peace that can ripple out from you and create a positive impact in your world today. I am with you now and always. My name is Ishvara. So welcome back to those of you who are watching and to those of you who will be watching later. Thank you so much for joining in today. And I wish you a wonderful, peace-filled day. And my wish for you would be that you ask for and discover lots of peace whenever you wish. Have a fantastic day, everyone.